I decided to do a video log about my journey as a martial artist, but from a different perspective. It'll be about what was going on in my life from white belt to now and how the martial arts has helped me with it. Before I start, I decided to do a Q&A about just any questions that people may have had about the martial arts or about what I did and everything. So I got a list right here of the questions. So let's get started. Did you ever want to give up? The only time I ever thought about giving up, I was 13 or 14 years old. I was asked to play football, and I knew that football practice would interfere with martial arts. I liked football, I thought it was fun, and it would be something new for me to try because I've been doing martial arts for a year at that point, a year or 2 years at that point, and I figured it was time to try something new. But I could never get myself to walk out onto the field and practice or try out, really, like I could with karate, just to walk into class and do it. So I just never did. I never ended up doing it, and it was the only time I ever thought about quitting and doing something else. I never looked back. What was the most serious injury you have ever gotten while practicing or performing? The most serious injury I've ever gotten. I was helping with a friend's black belt test by being a self defense partner for his drills. One of his drills he created involved turning his partner upside down and simulating a drop on the head. Well, while doing that, I believe his legs gave out and ended up just falling directly onto the top of my head. Caused one of the vertebrae in my neck to sort of pop out a little and left me with a really bad concussion. So I just got up after a few seconds of making sure that I was okay, popped it back in, went about the rest of the test. And I was advised by another person who was taking the test to see a chiropractor because I worked in a chiropractor's office. Um, I never did. So if you're seeing this, I never did that. Sorry. What keeps you motivated? What keeps me motivated is the thought of every day I could learn something new, and that something new I could keep and pass down to someone else who could use that same lesson. So I have an amazing teacher. I want to be a great teacher. So whatever I learn from her, I try to keep within myself so I can pass it down to the next person who will need that same information. What was the hardest thing for you to overcome? The hardest thing for me to overcome is my own fears and my own doubts. I was afraid that I wouldn't be as good in martial arts as I thought I could be, and I had doubts about making it to black, major doubts. But thanks to my sensei, thanks to my family, thanks to my classmates, I was able to overcome those fears. I was able to overcome those doubts. And here I am, a black belt. Do you ever get nervous or scared before performing? I used to get really, really nervous and scared before performing. Now, the nerves last about 2, maybe 3 minutes. And then once I start, it's like I'm just focused on the next move, the next move, then the next move. Then the final move comes, and I take a second. I take a second and I stop and I think. It's like, did I put on as good of a show as I wanted to? That's the only thought that I'm thinking about is, was that good? How does it feel to be a real life Super Saiyan? Um, I wouldn't exactly say a Super Saiyan. My favorite Dragon Ball race is Namekian. I love the Namecs. So I'd have to say a Super Namekian, and that's pretty awesome. I just wish I could do the whole limb extension thing. Yeah, that'd be neat. But funny thing about a real life Super Saiyan is that Bruce Lee has been compared to Goku a lot. So if you're interested in that, how Bruce Lee and Goku are a lot alike, there's videos on YouTube about it. Just check them out. They're really cool. Which belt was the most difficult for you personally? I believe I'm assuming this is other than black because black belt proposes new challenges each and every day that you have to overcome both in and out of the ring. So, other than black, I'd have to say brown. Brown was really, really difficult. It was, my competition level had jumped up a lot from green to brown. I was about 14 or 15 when I became a brown belt. So I was really young. It was really difficult. But I still stuck with it because being that close to black and quitting didn't make sense to me. Wasn't going to do it. I was fully prepared to either break anything in my way or to get broken myself. Those were the only two options. But either way, I was going to get to black. Has there ever been a student you've been disappointed in due to work ethic or just not caring? Any student that I ever had doubts about, whether they wanted to be there or whether they had to be there, they've shown it and they've either quit or risen to the occasion in a way that I didn't see coming. So as for being disappointed in them, no. They've either long quit or they stuck with it and they really impressed and improved as long as they did. Has there ever been a time you sorry, has there ever been a time where you wanted to keep fighting a person even though the fight was over because you feel that you got screwed over or they just really got under your skin? I used to. I used to harbor negative emotions towards my opponents after matches. I used to just want to get back in there and then just do over the whole thing and be more aggressive, more um, assertive and dominant than I was until I started getting second opinions on the matches and how I did and what happened. And then I started having myself recorded so I could see my own mistakes and see that, okay, that wasn't their fault, that was mine. So I learned that it was mostly me and not my opponent. And if the rare occasion came up where it was them, I just took it with a grain of salt and looked forward to our next match. Not so I could make them pay for it, like hold a grudge, but so I could perform better than they're expecting me to. Because that shock of, oh wow, I beat this person this bad last year and here they are even better. I can see it on their face and I love it. I love it. There's nothing better than that. If you would have quit after the first belt you received, what would you be doing now? If I had quit after white belt, what would I be doing now? I have no idea. like I said, I thought about quitting for football. So if I had quit at White, I would have done football in seventh grade. Then throughout the rest of middle school and high school, I would have been playing football. And after that, maybe have, mm, maybe have, I'm not even sure. Not even sure if I would have tried to stick with it after high school. Because I probably would have been curious about karate and gotten back into it and then quit football. So either way, I'd still be doing karate right now. I just wouldn't be as high of rank, and that'd be sad. Who stood by you all the way from white to black? I'm going to go ahead and tell you all who asked me this question. My mom asked me this question. So, Mom, I know you're going to be watching this, and I know you're going to be wondering why I have contacts in, and I'm not going to answer that question just yet. But I'm pretty sure you already have an answer. Um, who stood by you all the way from white to black? My mom, my sensei, and the three the three others who trained with me coming up through ranks to get their black belts too. The three of them were big motivators for wanting to become a better black belt. My sensei, biggest motivator I've had, other than my mom and my dad, to become a better person day after day. And my mom, she's always been a major driving force. She'd always tell me before I compete, she'd always say, "Good luck, do your best." And that was it. It was like that was the only thing that really mattered, was that I could walk in there prepared and walk out knowing that I left everything I had out on that floor. Win, lose, or draw, that's all that mattered, was that I did my best. And my father was a big motivator for me too. We'll get into that lesson later. But that's all the questions that I was asked. And I believe I answered them pretty well. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on my journey starting at white. Till then.